Well, hello everyone and welcome. Welcome to my show, The Wisdom of Essential Oils. I'm Leonie Featherstone. My business is called Sense of Empowerment, SCENTS, Sense of Empowerment. You can find me at senseofempowerment.com.au or on my Facebook page, Sense of Empowerment. Love you to pop in there and say hello. As you pop on today, let me know where you are coming from. Let me know who you are. Ask me some questions. Love to chat to you about all aspects of essential oils. I have to tell you that today we have a topic. I always like to pick a topic, but I'm always happy to answer your questions and talk to that as well. The topic today is sense of ease. And so when I thought about this, I thought, so often we are in a state of unease or dis-ease, for want of a better word. So I'd love to know, are you feeling at ease with life? Are you in flow? I'm just going to pop this question up here for you. Are you at ease with your life? Are you flowing? Are you feeling like you are in flow? Because I'd love to have a bit of a chat about that if we can. So what do we do today? For those of you who are new, I work with the beautiful doTERRA essential oils. As you'll see in the background there, I have it up there. I love these beautiful gifts of the earth. I've been using them for 10 years and I use them in so many ways in my home, with my family, in my cooking, in my spiritual practices, in my physical practices, and mostly where I really, really love to use them is with my emotions. Hello, Michelle. Lovely to have you. Hi, Alana. Where are you guys from? Drop me a little note. So some of you are saying most of the time and some are saying no. So these are the sorts of things I'd love to discuss today and talk about some ways we can use the essential oils to help us with those processes. So thinking about that whole process of being in flow, maybe think about, hi, Nikki, how are you? Yes, love to. So for those of you who are new, Nikki's one of my besties on here, and I also draw essential oil cards, and Nikki's just asked for a card. So if you'd like me to draw an essential oil card for you and interpret the wisdom of nature and add in some of my own, I'd love to do that for you. Hi, Julia, first time, fantastic. And Michelle, you're from New Zealand. Ilana from Melbourne, lovely. I love how we can just reach out all over the world with these morning chats. So again, if you would like a card, just drop me a little note there and I will draw it for you throughout the chat. And also any questions, just keep popping them in the chat. And I am a real face-to-face type of person, so sometimes I get a bit distracted trying to catch up with the chat. So if I miss you with regard to the card, just drop it in again later on. Michelle, you'd like one, and Julia would like one. Excellent. And Alana would like one. Okay. First up, what I like to do is I like to draw some cards for all of us as the collective. And I've got lots of cards. I just love them. I find cards are like my little daily doses of inspiration. So I drew, bearing in mind that my topic today is having a sense of ease and working through that, I drew a card from this beautiful animal card deck, and it is the rhinoceros. And the rhinoceros is asking us to still the chatter within, to see your true path in life. And I was thinking, how appropriate is that? Because so often I sometimes think we almost sabotage ourselves and create painful situations because we don't want to either see our inner beauty, our own worth, or we're frightened of what we could become. And so sometimes we just need to go still. And I think a beautiful oil to pair up with that would be sandalwood. I love sandalwood. It's just so beautifully it's almost like it's very calming, but it's like just someone just putting their hands and just gently encouraging you to sit in your chair. So not shoving you, but just gently settling you down into your chair where you can just sit and communicate within and listen to that subtle voice of your own inner wisdom that comes forth. And so the rhinoceros, I think, is sending us a great message there. I'm reminded of, I was in Kenya a couple of years ago with doTERRA on a trip, a humanitarian trip, and we had the great honor and privilege of going down into the Masai Mara, where these animals, these beautiful, majestic animals, just run free and they're protected. And It is just so amazing to see them in the wild. They are such huge creatures, but they can just be so still. They just stand there, and I actually got some great photographs. Wonderful. You like sandalwood, Alana? Wonderful, wonderful. Let me just tell you too, if any of you don't already have a doTERRA person taking care of you, I'd love to help you get these oils into your family. They are just amazing. And of course, if you want to, we can have a private chat later, and you can have them for the same price as what I do. That's my mission, is to oil up the world, and that includes you. I drew another card from this beautiful deck, and it is about, it says, recognize your own limits and be mindful that you may need to step back and take stock. Face the possibilities honestly before moving forward. And I think that sometimes, pain can be just popping up as a little bit of a messenger to sort of maybe go, hang on a sec, I'm just going to slow you down for a moment so you can be still and you can find where your flow is meant to be. And a great teacher in that field is wintergreen. Wintergreen invites us to surrender to that pain and to it's got methyl salicylate in it, so it's wonderful for physical pain, but it's also just helping us to release whatever that tightness is that's holding us back. It's inviting us to, just get on with what we want, and not to sort of identify ourselves by that pain, to release it and to see what is possible, just to surrender and know that unconditional love is the answer. So loving on ourselves and just seeing that pain as a teacher and saying, oh, what is my lesson from this? So there's a couple of oils to start us off with as well. And then I like to draw an oil card. Now, for those of you who are on here that are new, how these work is it'll come up with an oil, and then it'll actually I'll give you some thoughts about that oil, and then it'll have a centering thought on here and a question for you. So what we have drawn for the collective is Roman chamomile. Now, Roman chamomile is it's like a little ground cover plant. It's got very pretty little flowers, looks very gentle, but you can actually walk on it and it kind of bounces back. So what this is showing us is it's very resilient. So Roman chamomile is inviting us to see that resilience within, that we do have a backbone and that we're designed to use it. And but it's also very gentle. It's a wonderful oil to use with small children, and it's very soothing to help with sleep. But it's also helping us to find our purpose, because thinking back to the ground cover, if left to its own devices, it'll just spread over the ground and cover everywhere. And so what this is teaching us is that, yes, we can follow our path, we can find our true path. And so it's inviting us to create a greater connection with purpose, fulfillment, and letting go of any discouragement, and creating that confidence in ourselves that we have a greater purpose and we can find that purpose. The centering thought I'd invite you all to take on now is, I know my purpose, I am fulfilled, I have focus and vision of what I am here to do. And now the question, there's always a question that we ask ourselves, and as I draw your cards, you'll get this as well. But if we ask ourselves a question, a negative question, our brain will find all those negative experiences to back it up. However, if we ask ourselves a positive question, it will also find all the good things. So what we're going to do is ask ourselves a question: why is my life so fulfilling and filled with purpose? And then we'll start finding those answers. And it'd be really interesting for you guys to maybe jot that down. Why is my life so fulfilling and filled with purpose? And then later when we finish here, just spend a bit of quiet time and journal, because answers will come for you. Okay, so thank you, Julia. I'm glad you find that interesting. And Angela, definitely. So we're going to be talking about sense of ease and flow. So we're going to be talking about the physical as well as the emotional. Now, if there's any physical questions you have that maybe require me to go more in depth, let's connect privately. I'll come back here later and comment on all of your comments and questions, and we can always connect later. So let me see. Did I write Angela down? Julia? Have I got Julia? Yeah. Okay, so Fiona is not on today, but Fiona's on here nearly every week, and she sent me a private message and asked me to do a card. So she's first on the list. She's going to come back and watch this again, which I know a lot of you do. They come back later. So the card I have for Fiona, Fiona, I know you're going to come back later. So Fiona, your card, your oil is our beautiful blend called Console. And this is from the emotional aromatherapy range. And so what Console is, as it sort of suggests, it's a comforting blend. So Fiona, that if you're going through any sort of turmoil at the moment, maybe some grief. Now, grief doesn't just mean loss of a person. It can be loss of a job, loss of a friend. It could be moving. It could be feeling a loss of identity. So I'm not sure what that is with you, Fiona. But what this is about is just know, for you to know that you are held, you are safe, you have the ability to find that comfort within and that serene place that makes you feel so good. So this is going to create, when we use this, and this comes in a blend where you can add it to a diffuser, Fiona. It also comes in a roller bottle, which has already been diluted with fractionated coconut oil, which is really convenient. You just roll it on at any time, use it like a perfume. So this is going to create a place to heal from the transitions that come with grief and loss. It comforts the heart to accept and move forward with healing, and just to release everything that is held you, that's holding you in that sort of heavy space. Your centering thought, Fiona, is I accept the painful transitions in life as moments to reflect and learn that pain can be a great teacher. And your question to ask yourself, Fiona, is why do I feel such peace and comfort? So that's for you, Fiona. I hope that resonates with you. A couple of thoughts here too on, and I will read the cards throughout this chat that we have. But if you aren't feeling at ease, or even if you are, either way, how does it feel? Are we actually taking the time to sit with those feelings and recognizing, even feel the body part that it relates to? If you're feeling really constricted, is it in your chest? How is your breath? Are you breathing freely? If you want some help with breathing freely, we have a beautiful blend called Easy Air. Our respiratory blend, it just clears the airways. And so what I love to do, and I was doing this with a lady yesterday, I just put a little drop here on the heel of my hand, rubbed it together, and then she closed her eyes because peppermint is quite tingly, and I let her inhale. So if I was doing it for myself, I would do this, create a tent over my mouth, and then inhale deeply. And what it does, you can just feel the peppermint and the tea tree and the lemon just, flowing and just opening up. And so when we are feeling blocked emotionally, look to the oils that have that ability to physically open you up, and that you can often use them in a similar way emotionally. I love to think of nature as our advisory board. And I think when you look at how plants are growing, like my example with the Roman chamomile, or trees with their roots into the ground, just being still, they're teaching us something. And so it is with the product of those plants and trees, our beautiful essential oils. They each have a message for us. And often when we look at them, we can think, okay, I can see how that is in nature. That could be me, because I am of nature as well. So I'll move on now to Nikki. I hope you're having a great day, Nikki. Okay. So Nikki, your oil is another blend that I've pulled out, and this one is Smart and Sassy. We call this a metabolic blend because it has some beautiful oils in there like lemon and cinnamon and grapefruit and ginger that really support our physical body. It helps to, help to balance that blood sugar, helps to gently detoxify, helps to just bring everything back into balance. Because I'm not sure if those of you who are new to this program know, but essential oils are really powerful. They actually help to bring our body back into balance. And that's the powerful thing, because our body in its perfect state can do anything. It can cope with anything emotionally or physically. But so often we're bombarded by so many outside forces that we get out of whack. And so the essential oils do a wonderful job. We call them adaptogenic. They come in and they just balance things up. So your blend is Smart and Sassy. And this is very much about, letting go of any self-loathing, any feelings of disrespect towards yourself, Nikki, and just seeing you for you, accepting you for you, and seeing your own worthiness. You have immense value, Nikki. And I know you're not on your own in the world with, a lot of people don't see the value within, but it is really important that you put a mirror up to yourself, Nikki, and really look within and see the beauty, the amazing person that you are. And what Smart and Sassy is asking you to do is to release any of those painful emotions. And like anything, when we release and let go of anything, we're actually creating a space for abundance, for more self-worth, for more value to flow in. And while you're doing that, you're going to see that inner beauty. And your centering thought, Nikki, is I fully accept myself and my body. I see my inner beauty. And your question to ask yourself is, why is it so easy to love myself so fully and completely? So I hope that resonates with you, Nikki. Any questions, please? When I do a card, just drop me a little note and tell me how that resonates with you. Okay, so where was I? I'm looking up, I think I got 3 funny faces. I don't know what that means. I hope somebody's not unhappy. That's not the intention. Okay, so the other thing we talked about, how do you want to feel? I think that with everything we do in life, the more intention we have about it, the more thought, the more sitting in contemplation. And I don't mean not doing anything, but just really thinking about how we want to feel. How do we want to flow? I love water, and I think water is a great teacher. When you see water, it will find its way. I don't know if any of you had the amazing experience of watching a river come down. I grew up in the outback and where it didn't rain much. And so if you were lucky, you would be there at the time when the water was finally making its way down those dry rivers or creeks. And it's amazing. You would see it coming down, just a little trickle, and then it might hit a bit of a rock, and then it'd like stop for a little bit, and then it'd find a way around, or it'd hit a big mass of debris. And then it would just sort of bank up for a little bit, and then it would find its way around. It'd go left, it'd go right. No, it'd go under. So water finds a way, and I think that's a great lesson for us, is that when we sit still and we work out what we really want out of life and who we are, we will find a way. We will flow, but we have to remove those obstacles. We have to find another way. We have to be open to finding another way. Oh, you love water too, Michelle. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yes, I love the sound of water. It is so calming. And these are the things. I do a session called Come to Your Senses, where we activate our senses. And one of my favorite experiences, and I think this can help us, the more we get in touch with our senses, the more we can start to think about how we want to live our life. And it's really at night, I love going to the window and just, obviously it's dark, but I still close my eyes and I just listen. I activate my sense of sound and just listen. And there's frogs and cicadas and all these other rustling noises of night. And then I will just almost close off my ears and open up my nostrils and smell. And we've had rain, so smelling that fresh rain on the foliage and all those other sort of smells that come out of the night that we may not notice during the day. And then I kind of shut them down and I open my eyes. And even though it's dark, last night I was looking up and I could see a big star, bright star. And then the longer I looked, I could see all the little twinkling stars coming in. And I could just sort of feel myself coming into my body and having this holistic feeling of flow. So if you want to try that experience, broaden it out and then pick up something and feel that, or even just feel where when you're looking up at the stars, feel where that joy is, right in your heart. Or if you're feeling overwhelmed, feel your shoulders and feel it, because then we're becoming more aware. And the more aware we can become, the more we can actually find out how we want to flow, or we can see where we aren't in flow and do something about it. I think it's very important to give ourselves permission that we are here to flow smoothly and freely. And sometimes that comes down to setting boundaries. So I'd love to know how good you are at setting boundaries in your life. Drop me a note, because It's really important to know what your values are and then set those boundaries and about who can come into those sacred spaces. And I think that a really great blend for you, if you are struggling with boundaries, is our protected blend. It's fantastic in times of health compromise, when there might be certain things floating around that we don't want to take into our body. And it's called On Guard. So I diffuse that regularly, particularly in winter when there's, people have got sniffles and things. But it's a wonderful oil to actually give us that energetic protection as well and set those boundaries. And another oil is lemongrass. Lemongrass, if we think about the shape of the lemongrass, it's like a sword. So it can kind of like cut through any negative energies and just help you to see clearly about where you need to set your boundaries. And lemongrass is, speaking about the physical side of flow, is really beautiful to add to a massage for if your joints are feeling a bit sore, your ligaments are a bit tight, because it can kind of like cut through that stiffness and allow them to relax. So there's a couple of other uses for you as well. So let's move on to Michelle. Michelle who loves water. What can we draw for you? Okay, so you've drawn another oil from our emotional aromatherapy blend, and this is a great blend. If you're new to oils, it's a great place to start because it has 6 blends and they address a number of varying emotions. When you get your oils with doTERRA, particularly if you wanted to be part of my oily family, you get your oils and I'm here to empower you, but I'm like your oily guide. So then I make sure that you are comfortable with the way you're using them, that you've got the resources you need, and then know when to ask questions, and that you can come to me and have one-on-one sessions and really expand your knowledge. So passion is all about it's not just about passion in the bedroom. It's like a passion for life. Maybe Michelle, you're just feeling a bit, you lost your va-va-voom for life, and you're not really sure about where you're going, or things. You're just not feeling your joy. Passion is going to support you with this and just give you a little bit more drive. So this is the ability to find joy and passion again. This will revitalize the emotional aspects of intimacy and connection through healing. It can be emotional intimacy with others. It could be emotional intimacy with yourself. So think about that one, Michelle. And your centering thought is, I create deep connection and intimacy. I live a life of passion and purpose. And it's interesting, isn't it, that we started off with Roman chamomile, which is all about finding our purpose. And particularly that when we find our purpose, it's almost like those obstacles actually become the way. I'm reading a great book with that title, The Obstacle is the Way, by Ryan Holiday. Fantastic. But when we have our purpose, and I'm hoping this will be you too, Michelle, and you have that passion for that purpose, a lot of those obstacles just fade away because we have clarity and we just see them like the water. Oh, well, that's a bit of debris. I'm just going to go around it, or I'm just going to go over it. So I hope that resonates with you, Michelle. Okay, the other thing that I think is really important with this finding our flow, or where we are feeling at ease, is, where's your happy place? Do you have a happy place? I'd love to know that as well. Where do you go where you just feel that everything that's been holding you back or weighing you down just melts away? Where is that place for you? I love nature and I love trees, and I'm very blessed that we live in a rural area and we have a farm. And one of my favourite places is just to go down to the cattle yards. I love going down to the cattle yards and just sitting there. It's on the bank. There's a creek and trees, and I actually love the smell of cow manure. I call it crapola alternifolia because then it sounds like a really lovely essential oil. But whatever it is for you. So Michelle, it's your room. Yeah, so create your own sanctuary, whatever that looks like, feels like, smells like, sounds like to you. Create your own sanctuary. Even if you're in a place like at work where you can't create your outer sanctuary, know that you have the power to create your own inner sanctuary and allow that to flow with ease. I love reading about people like Viktor Frankl, and some people have been in prisoner of war camps where they made up their mind that those people could take their body but they could not take their mind, and they would just create their own world inside their mind. And some of those people were in a world of physical pain, but they chose to transcend that. And I think that just sort of led me into another oil that is fantastic if you are in physical pain or even emotional pain, is turmeric. And some of you may know turmeric as a spice. It's fantastic for cooking, and I know some people have put it in their different chai mixes and things like that. It's also very powerful for supporting our skin and any blemishes. But it's also for digestion, but also it is very warming, and so we can use it in like a massage for sore muscles, etc. Because anywhere there is inflammation, you've got pain and soreness, so we can use it that way. But it's also offering us strength and hope in times of turmoil and change. So right now, if you're feeling that you're not at ease, and you're going to have to make some decisions about moving into flow into that, maybe turmeric could be something to bring into your life. It's kind of like giving you the confidence and courage to take that step forward. So let's go on to Julia. If anyone else would like a card, please let me know. And I'd love to just get your thoughts. What do you do when you are feeling out of flow? What do you do? What do you do to change that state? Because we have to take action, don't we? Okay, so Julia. Oh, another wonderful oil. Julia, your oil today is basil. Now, many of you, if you're not used to using oils, essential oils, physically or emotionally, you may know basil as a beautiful spice. It's a very pungent spice. And I love using basil in the kitchen. Now, with essential oils, because they're so potent, they're very pure. doTERRA does amazing testing with their oils. They're very potent. If you're going to start using our essential oils for food flavoring, you must know that less is more. They're very potent. So what I do when I'm using them is I'll either just put a toothpick in and wind it through. One of my favorite ways of using basil is in sun-dried tomato hummus or dips. And so just wind it in. And as you get better at pouring that little drip in, because some of them gallop out of the bottle and some of them are slow. Another safe way is to just drip onto a teaspoon, and then you can actually apply as much as you want off that teaspoon. So basil is a great flavoring agent, but it's also wonderful for soothing pain. And so if you are feeling overwhelmed, basil is very supportive. I'm making you hungry, am I, Julia? It's very supportive of the adrenals. And so when we think about being overwhelmed, that's part of our physical body that starts to feel it. But when you are overwhelmed, and if you are feeling overwhelmed right now, Julia, maybe think about where are you feeling that. I know for me, it's always my shoulders. And so what I would do is use basil in some fractionated coconut oil and add, you can add other oils to that too. And I'm going to tell you about another blend, Julia, because I think this is really important for you. But it actually just helps to soothe, okay? So basil is going to help you let go of any of that overwhelm, that feeling of mental exhaustion, physical exhaustion, emotional exhaustion, and just help you feel that renewal energy coming in and filling you and strengthening you. So this is creating a new energy and a new lease on life after feeling overwhelmed or deeply exhausted. Your centering thought, Julia, I let go and release the patterns of the past. Every day, in every way, I am balanced and renewed. It's a great affirmation, isn't it? I think it's really important to have your affirmations to go with your oils. We call it aromatic anchoring. I do, actually have a page on my Sense of Empowerment page that has aromatic anchoring, Sense of Empowerment. I think it's under Essential Oils, senseofempowerment.com.au. So every day, in every way, I am balanced and renewed. And your affirmation, your question to ask yourself is, why is it so easy for me to create healthier ways of coping? And I'm sure when you ask yourself that, Julia, you're going to come up with lots of different ways to do it. So there is basil. The other oil I wanted to talk about in relation to that, Julia, and for those of you who may be feeling overwhelmed is one of my all-time favorite oils, and that is Aroma Touch. It's one of our blends, and it has basil in there. It also has cypress in there, and sometimes we are our own worst enemies, my friends. We hold on to stuff and we try and control everything. And so it has cypress in there, which is like the oil of motion and flow. It's the oil of letting go. And so it's also got peppermint, which is all about flow. But peppermint's very good at soothing painful spots as well. What else has got in it? Marjoram. Marjoram we like to think about as the oil of connection, because marjoram actually relaxes the muscles. So if you think about it, when we're overwhelmed, physically we tighten up, and the same emotionally. So it's going to just relax, and those muscles can actually just connect the way they're meant to connect and flow smoothly through our body. So on a physical level, I love this. It's got a beautiful pungent aroma, and it's actually a fabulous massage oil. If any of you are massage therapists, get it into your collection. It is brilliant. But it's just good if you've got a little bit of a sore spot, sore knee, whatever. But on an emotional level, when we talk about physically relaxing muscles, it just relaxes that stiffness of heart. Just relaxing that stiffness of heart a little bit, letting go of that tension, and allowing us to relax and be more open to the flow of life. And as our circulation is enhanced and our ability to move is enhanced physically, so is the flow of life, so is our ability to flow smoothly and harmoniously through life. So Aroma Touch is probably another blend I'd love you to pop into your sense of ease toolkit. So we had Alana. Let's go to Alana. Now, you're not talking to me much. I want to know where you go or what you do to change the state, or anything, any issues that you have or feelings that you have. Throw them in there, because maybe we can match up an oil for you as well. Okay, so Alana, what do we have for you? Oh, this is wonderful. This is wonderful. This is our digestive blend called Digest Zen. Now, just to step aside from you for a moment, Alana, this is a powerful blend for, we talked about ease. How often do we feel dis-ease in our stomach discomfort? So this is a brilliant one. So we'll talk about that for all of you in a minute. But Alana, this is, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. This is not just about physical. So this is about, maybe there is a lot going on for you at the moment that you are just finding it really hard to digest emotionally or mentally. And so this can kind of result sometimes when we get almost like bloated with information or emotions that we can't handle, we kind of shut down. And so this is just going to help you to allow that oil to flow more and allow you to process whatever it is that's going on with you at the moment. And when that happens, you're going to feel more ease and be able to cope better with whatever it is that's going on. So this is creating the ability to digest all that life brings to you and to feel your emotions again, Alana, because as I mentioned, sometimes we just shut down. And it's going to allow you to let go of anything that's numbing you or creating a distance within you or between you and someone else. You'll center in thought, I have the capacity and the ability to process and assimilate all that comes my way. And your question, Alana, is why is it so easy for me to handle life with ease and grace? Oh, love that. I use it all the time, ease and grace. So nausea, yes. Now this blend on a physical level is fantastic for nausea. It's got peppermint and ginger and tarragon and fennel, anise. Did I mention ginger? So they're all really supportive of the digestive system. And some of those essential oils, when you look at their actual constituents, because it's all chemistry, some of them are antispasmodic, some of them are anti-mucolytic, some of them, like ginger, we often think of ginger and peppermint as like being tummy tamers. So absolutely powerful for supporting the release of those feelings of dis-ease in regard to, you're mentioning that feeling of nauseousness. And so, a few ways to use that. It's a very powerful blend. I like to, if I am experiencing nausea, I will get some fractionated coconut oil, which is our carrier oil, and I'll put a little bit in my hand And then I'll put a drop of the Digest-Zen in, and then I will actually rub it in clockwise movements all over my stomach. I will often inhale it from my hands. And sometimes, and this depends, you use the oils in the manner to which you are comfortable. But for me, sometimes I'll just put a drop under my tongue as well. I also use it to flavor water, and I'll have it in hot water at night as like a settling cup of herbal tea. So there's just a few ways to use that, Alana, so I hope that helps. Now, if you don't have these oils, guys, reach out to me so I can help you get them in your hands. And I just want you to have this beautiful health and harmony that I've experienced for the last 10 years. It is such I have such peace of mind being surrounded by these gifts of the earth and knowing that I can call on them at any time. I have a very holistic approach to life. I have amazing holistic practitioners and medical people that I use when I need to, but I like to be empowered and have these tools on hand. The name of the oil is Digest-Zen. Yeah, it's a blend that we have. And Julia, sandalwood. Sandalwood, many uses, and I can certainly flick you some information on that later, but sandalwood is so often used for meditation and in spiritual practices. It's kind of like very grounding, very centering. It's also very quietening, so just to calm the mind. So if you think about the ongoing effects of that, when we can, stress is one of the biggest issues that we have, that is creating dis-ease. So when we are stressed, we are placing undue stress on our organs, and that's compromising our physical health. So whenever we can do anything to calm and to just bring us back into a little bit of balance, to allow the body to breathe, and be able to then start doing what it needs to do, is a good thing. Okay, so one of the things I want to ask you to think about too is, what are your body parts teaching you? So if you are experiencing pain in a different place, like we just talked about, the stomach, if you're getting a stomach pain, maybe it's like, okay, what could this be teaching me? Have I got some physical issues? And I believe that so often our physical issues start from the emotions. So maybe you have got the physical, but where could this have started? So I used to have really bad, painful rashes. And I knew that it had to be emotional, and I had to do a lot of digging. I had to treat it physically, but I had to do a lot of questioning and a lot of self-analyzing and sitting and being really honest with myself. And sometimes that hurts, and sometimes we want to avoid that pain. But by avoiding that pain, we're just prolonging the pain. And so I eventually worked out the sources of frustration, and I had to have those crucial conversations with people, and I had to work through it, because otherwise it just wasn't going to go away. And I didn't want to have to go to drastic medication to deal with that physical issue. And so think about what body parts are, what they are teaching you. Another oil I want to talk to you about with regard to if you are feeling ill at ease is copaiba. Copaiba on a physical level is wonderful for soothing and relaxing those painful feelings. But it's also, if we think about copaiba, and this is another example of looking at the plant or the tree and thinking, what is this teaching me? It actually comes from the heart of the tree. And so this is inviting us to go within and look at what is creating our pain. Sometimes we've suppressed pain. Sometimes we've been taught various behaviors, and that is actually creating our pain. We haven't dealt with it. We've labeled ourselves, or maybe someone else has labeled us. And so we want to get rid of those labels. We want to go within and find out who we really are. And then that often can go a long way to restoring that emotional harmony. And that can empower us, because we suddenly are starting to realize, our own true identity. And that can often just soothe a lot of our anxiety. So whilst copaiba can help with that physically, it's really powerful on that emotional level to help us go within and find who we are and help us find our purpose path, our path of purpose. So that's another oil I wanted to share with you. The other thing I was going to suggest, that often with pain, when you're feeling really stiff and you can't move, sometimes that can be something that we're feeling stuck or we're feeling blocked. We've already talked about if we're feeling blocked breath-wise, we've got easy air. But if you're thinking about just stuck in general, stiff and sore, we have another great blend that is called Ice Blue. It comes in a blend, it comes in a roll, and it also comes in a fantastic sports rub, which is really easy for the guys in your life. But it has some great lessons in there. We've already talked about wintergreen. That's one of the great components of it. But it also has camphor and peppermint. Peppermint we like to think of as the oil of the buoyant heart. It's great for circulation and flowing through the body, but it's also an oil that helps just invigorate us. So it's kind of like lifting us up emotionally out of that pain for a while, because sometimes we just need a breath. We always need to go back and deal with it, but peppermint's just giving us that breather. So peppermint's fantastic in there. It also has helichrysum. Helichrysum, we jokingly refer to helichrysum in a physical sense as the oil. It's liquid stitches. It is great using like that for physical issues. But if you think about on an emotional level where there is pain, it is really good at helping us work through that and just, restitching up those wounds and helping us to heal emotionally. It also has blue tansy. Just have to write a list of my ingredients here to remind me. Blue tansy, which blue tansy we often think of as inspiring us into action. It's a beautiful, beautiful oil. It's wonderful for skin. I like adding it into my face cream. But it's all about, that being inspired, dreaming, seeing our potential. So moving through the pain, maybe this whole blend is about seeing the pain as our teacher. What have we to learn? Are we self-sabotaging? Are we keeping ourselves in that painful pattern just because we're scared, or that's the norm that we know? Or we're frightened to have those crucial conversations. We're frightened, so we just put up with the pain, we endure. So Ice Blue is about surrendering to that pain, also letting go of the need to control. All we ever have control over is our own responses and our own actions, and so let go of whatever other people are doing. And it's also inviting us to place your trust in a greater power. Whoever that greater power is for you, just trust that it is holding you in that. So have faith and then work through your pain and know that there will be a greater, more harmonious flowing outcome on the other side. Okay, so we've got Angela. So Angela wanted a card too. Okay. And then I've got another great oil to tell you about, because you can get it for free if you so desire. Who'd like a free oil? I'd love to know too, those of you on here, who is actually using oils? Oh, Alana, I'm so pleased to hear that was spot on. Fantastic. I just seeing all the comments here. Great. Okay, so Angela, you have the oil clove. Now this is an oil that sends some people running out of the room because they think of dentists, but it is such an amazing oil. It can be used in cooking as well. It's a very powerful oil. We use it mildly. I know we use it a lot around here because I live in a humid area, and we use it in cleaning because it's so powerful to help get rid of the mold. And so it then, when we're using it in cleaning, it's kind of like setting up a barrier so that mold spores don't come back. So if you think about that, it's very much an oil of protection for us. It's an oil of boundaries. And so, Angela, this is very much about helping you to see that you have the power within. Do not, Angela, get caught up in victim mentality. It's easy for us to do that, and sometimes it's happening subconsciously and we don't even realize. But, you do have that warrior woman inside you, and you are capable. And so, just let go. Whatever it is that you've experienced that maybe has made you feel this way, it's almost like putting that barrier up, putting that barrier up. Think about clove and the mold. We're just going to paint over here and that's going to kill off that mold spore, and it's just going to leave a barrier there between you and that whatever that moldy situation was, and give you confidence to go forward. So this is going to create inner peace for you, Angela. It's going to also empower you to set healthy boundaries in the future and let go of any inner feeling that you need to be codependent with anyone. It's about the independent woman, which doesn't mean you don't have people in your life. It just means that you are strong and you can operate on your own. It's basically about creating empowerment for you, Angela. So you're centering thought. And again, with some of these words, take them and then analyze how they are appropriate to you. Because sometimes when we talk about victim mentality, it's very easy to go, I'm not a victim, and that's great. But look at the victim mentality aspects that may be creeping in, or sometimes it's actually referring to something that's close to you. And so this is your centering thought. I'm no longer a victim. I empower myself in every aspect of my life. Nobody defines who or what I am. Angela, nobody puts Angela in the corner. And your question to ask yourself is, why is it so easy for me to see my beauty and value? Okay, so I hope that resonates with you. So let's look at some other physical ways that we can support this ease. I'm a great believer in creating rituals. So if you are feeling a bit stuck physically, blocked physically, think about your daily practices. What are you doing to enhance movement? I love to, every morning I wake up and I have my little gratitude practice as I'm stretching. I always stretch before I get out of bed. Do you exercise? And some people might not exercise, but they might move. Angela, you like that? Fantastic. Wonderful. Okay, Julia. Okay, I'll come back to you in a minute, Julia, with that question. Great questions. Thank you. So stretching. If you are exercising, one of the things I forgot to say when I was talking about the ice blue, wonderful for people who exercise and start to get sore. A lot of people get, delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS it's called. What we find is that sometimes we get that emotionally, okay? So what physically the essential oil blend Ice Blue will actually help you to process that build up of lactic acid and process it out of your body to remove the soreness. And so think about that on an emotional level too, that, it's supporting you to process and remove those toxic thoughts, those toxic actions, those toxic emotions that you have been playing out or acting out that are holding you in that painful pattern. So physically and emotionally, we need to be balancing up. And, we can't just, snort an oil and expect a miracle. We need to do the actions. We need to change our thoughts. We need to change the physical actions. I know for me, I'm always needing to do more movement. But even little things like parking a long way from the shops and walking in to get extra steps in. There's little things we can do. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. We can add movement into our life because we need to look after this physical form because that's all we've got in this life. So the other thing, using things like foam rollers if you are sore, those pressure balls you can use. Talk to your physio, talk to your holistic health practitioners and get some other tools to pop into your movement toolkit. And also, of course, watch what you're drinking. Are you drinking enough water? What's your diet and your nutrition like? They're all really, really important. And I think the big diet we have to watch is our thought diet. What thoughts are we consuming? What limiting beliefs are we consuming that we can now decide to, they're on the no-go zone. We put a boundary up against those because that's what's going to create the greatest change is when we can change our thoughts. That's the beginning part. We then start to change how we feel and then we can change our actions from there. Julianne, I'm not sure. Julianne, can you just ask my question again, please? Your question again. So I want to come back now to Julia. Okay. With regard to weight gain, I'll probably need to talk to you privately about that. What I'd like to do on this show is to be able to talk freely, but sometimes I have to be very mindful of speaking compliantly. So there's some things that I'd rather just say personally. I think that with regard to weight, a lot of it is holistic, and I'm sure you've got a holistic approach. We just started talking about it. What are you thinking? Are there any limiting beliefs to that? Are you taking in enough water? I love adding our citrus oils to water because that actually helps to make it taste better. Therefore, you drink more. Therefore, you're flushing your body out more frequently. And also the essential oils have a beautiful effect. They're almost like a gentle cleansing effect on the inside of your body. Now, with what you're asking me there, I think you're suggesting that your son would like some ways to breathe more freely. That would be the desired outcome. And one of the oils that I love in that case is Easy Air, which we talked about earlier, which is it has tea tree, it has peppermint, it has eucalyptus, ravensara, a lot of oils in there that are actually supportive of the bronchioles and helping to cleanse and open up the bronchioles. And so that's one that just helps to get those feelings of easier air intake. But Julia, I might send you a private message and we could have a chat. And Julie Ann, I'm not sure if you could just ask me your question again, that would be really, really good. But Julia, I'm going to make a note because there's a couple of other things I'd love to share with you there. Okay. Julie, I think I did a card for Julia, but I didn't do you one. Let's do you one now. And if I did one before, we're just going to double up with you. So Julie, your question was around money and income. Okay, so all I do is draw the card and then I'll relate that to you. So your oil that you have drawn now for this particular point in time is ginger. Now, ginger is so warming and really, really appropriate for pain because you can add it into your carrier oil or even add it with some of your ice blue blend and massage it into sore joints. It's just so warming. It's lovely. But Julie, with regard to you, ginger is the oil of empowerment. So, if you right now, when you asked about money and income, feeling that you are powerless, you don't have it within your capacity to create that which you desire, you do. So this is again, letting go of any victim mentality, any feelings of being trapped in a cycle, any labeling that you have been afflicted with, and just really empowering you to know that you can do this, and that encouraging you to bring in accountability with everything that you do with regards to money and income. And so it's creating a sense of empowerment to create new choices, new thought patterns, a new path, and releasing the destruction of the past. You see, so often we kind of assess how we're going to be in the future based on how we were yesterday and today. But we don't know what the future holds. We can decide. We can decide right now, and you can decide right now, Julie. You stand yourself on the top of that mountain and you see your self-worth and you feel imbued with that empowerment of ginger and strength and value, and just see that money and income march up the hill towards you. Okay, that's what I'd love you to have a little imagery. And your centering thought: I have the ability to create change within myself and in my life. I am empowered. I am capable. And your question to ask yourself and journal on later, I'd love you to do this: why do I feel so empowered to live the life I desire? So I hope that helps. And you also asked for for attention deficit disorder. So, okay, I'm not it's not compliant for me to talk about disease or categories, but from what I know some people that we call them spirited children, very active, or various aspects. And so we have a beautiful blend called In Tune, which has some beautiful calming qualities to it and some qualities that allow one to focus. So we find that is one that is quite popular with our spirited children, and even for people who maybe need to pay some more attention. We've got some dump truck drivers in the mines that use this to keep their mind on the job, because you do not want to be running off the road in one of those big trucks. Julie, we can have a chat about that as well. Sandra would like a card, absolutely. And then I just want to end off with a couple of other. Oh, I want to tell you about the free oil. That's right, we've got to do the free oil. Okay, so Sandra, this one is for you. Now, I know you've asked in regard to a particular circumstance. As I mentioned, I draw the card, whatever the card comes out. Okay, so this one is patchouli, and patchouli is a very powerful oil. Do not put patchouli on unless you really love it, because it will stay with you for forever. It's a base oil. It's very dusky. It's very powerful. So this is just inviting you to let go of any self-judgment, Sandra, any sort of negative feelings towards your body. Anything that's happened in the past is the past. The past is actually dead and gone. This is the future forward, Sandra. So you can create a new thought pattern and a new, perhaps look at almost like shut your eyes and then open your eyes and see your body anew. Okay. So this is going to instill with you respect for your body and confidence in your holistic mind, body, spirit, and true acceptance of the power of your body and its ability to give you what you want. So this will create a stronger connection to your body and a sense of awareness and presence, the power of your presence, the power of your body. And it connects the body and the spirit. It's so important that we are connected holistically and we are balanced. So your centering thought, Sandra, is my body is a temple. I honor and respect it. It houses my spirit. I am aware of my body's needs. And when you sit with that, Sandra, and you ask your body, what do you need? And just listen, your body will answer you. And your question to ask yourself, excuse me, why do I love my body? So I hope that resonates with you, Sandra. Hi, Suzanne. Lovely to have you on here. Okay, so I needed to just talk to you about the oil that is free this month. It is, if you don't already have a wonderful wholesale account with doTERRA, you can actually get this free. It's called Adaptive, and it's a beautiful, beautiful blend. And it's all about, it has wild orange in there, the oil of joy and abundance, lavender, all about communication and soothing, copaiba we've talked about, spearmint, magnolia, rosemary, which is all about transition and change, and neroli, which is about patience, but it's also about commitment to your purpose. And so this adaptive is about adapting to tumultuous changes, which, let's face it, we've had one of those types of years. And so this is going to give you that reassurance and calm and allow you to move out of that cycle of constriction and tension and unease and to move into flow and harmony. So Adaptive, there's a 10 ml roller that's going free for anyone who grabs their starter pack this month. So if you would like to know more about that, we can chat, and what I love to do is take you on a personal journey. I tailor make everything. I don't have a one size fits all because none of us are the same. So if I can chat with you, find out what your needs are, and then give you some suggestions and work with your budget and work with your needs, that's where we are both in flow, when we have those conversations, when your needs are being met and I can meet you where you're at. That's a perfect solution for me. I always have a blend and an affirmation for the topic. Today my blend was the company one that I told you about, Aroma Touch. And as I said, I use that for when I'm feeling overwhelmed or tight. And it is wonderful to just relax and remove those feelings of overwhelm and tension and stiffness. And the affirmation to go with that I created is, I am open, I am flexible, I move harmoniously with ease and flow. So again, when you're creating your affirmations, just use your words, or if you want to borrow some of mine, you can change them around. Sandra, it's really, really easy. I'll connect with you and we can sort that out in about 5 minutes. So I'll send you a private message in a minute and find out a time that we can just chat either online or in person, whatever suits you. And I do that for you, and then you have an online account and we go from there. So that's what I've got for you today, guys. I'd really encourage you, connect with me if you'd like to grab your starter pack and get your free oil. I also have a question for you. Who do you know who deserves to have oils in their life? Who do you know who deserves to have these little helpers on the side? Because that's what they are. They're like your support team that go into your toolkit for life. So if you can think of anyone, message me. I'd love to reach out to them. I don't bite. And as I said, I love to meet people where they're at. So have a think about that. I hope you found some value in today's session. I've loved being with you. I've loved sharing the wisdom of nature with you and my beautiful doTERRA essential oils. And I look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same place. Oh, hang on a sec. Next week, I beg your pardon. I won't be here next week because I have to speak at a convention, online convention. So it'll be the week after. So I'll see you then. Thank you so much for being with me. Have a beautiful week and move with ease and grace and flow. Bye-bye.